Have you heard about the Golden State Stimulus? It's another one-time stimulus check for Californians. According to the California Franchise Tax Board, the Golden State Stimulus aims to support low-income Californians and help those having a hard time due to COVID. Here's what makes you eligible for this payment. You must have filed your 2020 taxes, lived in California for more than half of the 2020 tax year, you're a California resident on the date the payment is issued, you're not eligible to be claimed as a dependent, and you are an individual tax identifier filer who meets $75,000 or less, or you are a California Earned Income Tax Credit recipient. To qualify for the California Earned Income Tax Credit, you must have taxable earned income up to $30,000, and you cannot file your taxes separately or have a registered domestic partner. If you meet all of these qualifications, you receive a one-time payment of $600, $1,200 based on your qualifications and yearly income. But there is a deadline. You must file your 2020 tax returns by October 15th, 2021. According to the California Franchise Tax Board website, they've expedited the delivery of this stimulus payment. So if you're eligible, you should receive this payment within 45 days of filing. In Silver Lake, Sophie Flores, ABC 7 Eyewitness News.
We're just learning a little bit about the funding and other things available for us here. Yeah, I'm looking at the Bank of America website, and it's been reported that they actually want to pull out from the government funding programs. But there are so many programs for like oil banks, you know what I'm saying? I'm supposed to be watching a video. I don't know what happened to it though. Yeah, we're supposed to be watching a video, but they don't want to show us the video. So far, we did see and hear about the Golden Gate stimulus check, the California state stimulus check. Okay. YouTube.
Women-owned businesses are a force to be reckoned with, and they're on the rise. In support of their continued growth, the U.S. Small Business Administration, or SBA, is here to help by giving women entrepreneurs access to the tools they need to start, succeed, and grow in their business ventures. Leading the way is the Office of Women's Business Ownership, or OWBO. Its mission is to foster the participation of women entrepreneurs in the economy, especially those who have been historically underserved or excluded. Through various programs, OWBO provides business training and counseling, access to credit and capital, and marketing opportunities, including federal contracts. Here's how. Women's business centers are staffed with knowledgeable advisors to help women start and grow their businesses. They're located in almost every state, and each adapts its services to the needs of its community with training in finance, management, contracting, marketing, and more. You'll even find offerings in different languages and dialects. Centers also offer access to SBA's financial and procurement assistance programs. You can also find customized resources at sba.gov in our Learning Center. Our online self-paced courses cover a range of topics tailored for women, including those who are over the age of 50 and those interested in government contracting. If you are interested in making the government your customer, SBA's Women-Owned Small Business Program could be for you. If you self-certify or have an SBA-approved third party certify you as a women-owned small business or an economically disadvantaged women-owned small business, then you could qualify for certain contracts set aside exclusively for women entrepreneurs. If your business is at least 51% owned and controlled by one or more women, and primarily managed by one, you may be eligible. Women entrepreneurs are vital contributors to the business world and to the American economy, and SBA is here to help them succeed. Visit sba.gov/women to learn more about how SBA helps empower women business owners across the country.
I would now like to turn the conference over to Erin Andrew, Assistant Administrator for the Office of Women's Business Ownership, SBA. Please go ahead.
Thank you so much, and welcome to everyone joining this. It is October, and October.
Really quick. We're not done yet. I also just read some things also again about the Golden Gate stimulus. see what else they have to say here.
Many American entrepreneurs think their businesses are too small to compete in the global economy. But in fact, 97% of all exporters are indeed small businesses. To help you become an exporter or expand your exporting business, SBA's Export Express program offers eligible small businesses up to $500,000 in financing. Export Express is the simplest and quickest export loan product SBA offers. You work directly with your bank to obtain the loan. And with an acceptable qualifying application, SBA may approve it in 36 hours or less. You can use Export Express funds for any export development activity, including financing specific export orders or expanding production facilities. You can also purchase equipment inventory or real estate and translate product literature and web content to foreign languages. It's also the only U.S. government loan that funds participation in foreign trade shows or trade missions. There are specific eligibility requirements for Export Express loans. The loans must help you enter or expand into new or existing export markets, and your small business must generally be in operation, but not necessarily exporting, for at least a full year. Applying for an Export Express loan is a simple 4-step process. Contact your existing lender to determine if it provides SBA Export Express loan. Submit application materials and SBA's borrower information form to your lender. If your request is approved, the lender will submit eligibility information to SBA. SBA will review your information and, if approved, guarantees the loan within 36 hours. Visit sba.gov/Export Express to learn more about how SBA can help your small business succeed in exporting.
I really want to hear that for real. Up to $500,000 loan financing for an export business.
The U.S. Small Business Administration, or SBA, is dedicated to helping entrepreneurs and small business owners start, grow, and succeed in their business ventures. In fact, some of the most recognizable brands started small. For people throughout the United States, Puerto Rico, the U.S. Virgin Islands, and Guam, SBA is here to help at any stage of your business. From writing a business plan to providing resources to export your products overseas. Headquartered in Washington, D.C., SBA has district offices across the country. These offices help entrepreneurs with the 3 C's: contracting, counseling, and capital. Government contracting can be a critical tool for growing your small business. The government has many categories of contract opportunities set aside exclusively for small businesses. These help level the playing field for women, veterans, and the socially and economically disadvantaged. SBA also offers participation in matchmaking events in the Mentor Protege program to help small businesses compete more successfully for federal government contracts. Through our district offices and extensive network of resource partners, SBA offers hands-on training, mentoring, and expert advice tailored to your needs. Our online learning center is also available around the clock, so you can explore and take training courses at your convenience. Many entrepreneurs need financial resources to start or expand a small business, and they must combine what they have with other sources of financing. While the SBA doesn't loan money directly to small business owners, we can help facilitate a loan with a third-party lender such as a bank or credit union by guaranteeing that a certain portion of the loan will be repaid. SBA guaranteed loans can be used for various business needs, including replenishing seasonal inventory, building expansion or renovation, purchasing equipment, and working capital. Ready to start or grow your small business? Visit SBA.gov to learn more about how we can help.
Yeah, I don't know if I even like that video either. But we're gonna go on to the next video anyway.
SBA's primary program, the 7A loan program, helps finance startup and existing small businesses when they can't get financing from other sources or from a lender who won't make a loan without an SBA guarantee. It's SBA's most basic and popular loan program, offering flexibility, longer term, and potentially lower down payments compared to other financing options. These loans are not funded by the SBA directly, but banks receive a guarantee that the SBA will repay a portion of the loan if the business defaults on payments. This lets small businesses get loan amounts to fund startup costs, equipment, inventory, and working capital. Loans made through the program may be used to start a new business or to acquire, expand, export, or continue operating a current business. Specifically, they can be used to purchase new land or equipment, including construction costs or repairing existing capital, purchase an existing business, refinance existing debt, purchase equipment, machinery, furniture, fixtures, supplies, or materials, fund short and long-term working capital needs. The 7A loan program also helps small businesses in traditionally underserved markets. To help drive growth and job creation, the SBA is committed to expanding small business access to capital in underserved communities. These initiatives offer a more efficient application process for minority, women, or veteran-owned businesses, or a company in a lower income or rural area. To be considered eligible for the SBA 7A loan program, businesses must operate for profit, have reasonable owner equity to invest, do or propose to do business in the United States or its possessions, and use other financial resources, including personal assets, before applying for a loan. Contact your local SBA district office for a list of participating lenders in your area. Visit sba.gov/loan programs to learn more about how the SBA helps small businesses get financing.
That wasn't as clear and helpful as they thought it was, whereas they probably should have made it. I got another page for y'all too, but I'm gonna just go ahead and share it on Facebook. Because there's a lot of information. It's a lot of work, yeah. It's a lot. We're gonna go again. We're not supposed to really be doing this, but this is the only way to make sure.
SBA's primary program, the 7A loan program, helps finance startup and existing small businesses when they can't get financing from other sources or from a lender who won't make a loan without an SBA guarantee. It's SBA's most basic and popular loan program, offering flexibility, longer term, and potentially lower down payments compared to other funding options. These loans are not funded by the SBA directly, but banks receive a guarantee that the SBA will repay a portion of the loan if the business defaults on payments. This lets small businesses get loan amounts to fund startup costs, equipment, inventory, and working capital. Loans made through the program may be used to start a new business or to acquire, expand, export, or continue operating a current business. Specifically, they can be used to purchase new land or equipment, including construction costs or repairing existing capital, purchase an existing business, refinance existing debt, purchase equipment, machinery, furniture, fixtures, supplies, or materials, fund short and long-term working capital needs. The 7A loan program also helps small businesses in traditionally underserved markets. To help drive growth and job creation, the SBA is committed to expanding small business access to capital in underserved communities. These initiatives offer a more efficient application process for minority, women, or veteran-owned businesses, or a company in a lower income or rural area. To be considered eligible for the SBA 7A loan program, businesses must operate for profit, have reasonable owner equity to invest, do or propose to do business in the United States or its possessions, and use other financial resources, including personal assets, before applying for a loan. Contact your local SBA district office for a list of participating lenders in your area. Visit sba.gov/loan programs to learn more about how the SBA helps small businesses get financing.
Good morning. We are finding out about the SBA loans. Basically, where to apply for them, what kind of businesses you need to have to qualify, and what you need or what you need to have or intend to do or plan, what you need to plan to be able to do with this funding.
Do you dream of owning your own small business? We can help. The U.S. Small Business Administration is the only federal agency dedicated to helping small businesses start, grow, expand, or recover after a disaster. With our local offices and nationwide network of resource partners providing free or low-cost business assistance, we've got you covered. If you're looking for capital, SBA-backed loans may be an option. SBA guaranteed loans are made by participating local lenders and help small business owners and entrepreneurs who are creditworthy but don't qualify for conventional financing. The SBA reduces the lender's risk, increasing the likelihood your loan will be approved with the terms that work best for you. If you're affected by a declared disaster, the SBA can help you and your community get back on its feet. We provide homeowners, renters, and businesses of all sizes with low-interest disaster recovery loans. If you've ever thought about expanding into government contracting, talk to your local SBA specialist. Of the $500 billion in prime federal contracts awarded annually, 23% are set aside for small businesses. SBA programs and services can help you better compete in the public marketplace. We're powering the American dream by empowering small businesses, and we can't wait to work with you. Learn more at sba.gov.
Yeah, I didn't pay attention to none of that. I didn't learn nothing. Let me go see what the next video is about. Government contracting? Nah. Hold on one second. Oh, honey. Can't even stretch my legs, dear.
You have a startup but need funding. Or maybe you have a great business idea but you need to finance it. If you find yourself there, then you better stick around for today's loan guidance. Today we're talking about SBA loans for startups. With these types of loans, you'll have access to the financing that you need without high interest rates or unfavorable terms. So let's uncover this together. But before we do, subscribe to our channel if you're new to it. And if you're already part of our community, welcome back. First, how can the SBA help your startup? The Small Business Administration was created to provide small business owners, just like you, with the resources they need to operate their own business successfully. The SBA helps small businesses, including startups, and offers loan programs, whether for hiring new employees, acquiring a business, a franchise, or even for equipment purchases. The funding isn't directly through the SBA. They have established several loan programs through middlemen. Think of banks, private lenders, and even nonprofit organizations. SBA loans are designed to help small businesses grow and or stay above water. That's why they have a set of standards that keep interest rates low and terms flexible. Now, you'll find 5 types of SBA funding for startups. Microloans, Standard 7A loans, SBA Community Advantage loans, SBA Express loans, and SBA CDC 504 loans. The microloan is the first resource for startups that need smaller loans. These types of loans can be used to purchase materials, furniture, supplies, inventory, and even working capital. However, funds cannot be used to purchase real estate or to pay off or refinance existing debt. This SBA microloan program is a great choice if you're a startup that needs working capital and or need to purchase items that will help you expand the business or to get your project off the ground. The SBA 7A program is the most popular choice for most startups and small businesses because of the flexibility it offers. Startups can receive up to $5 million in funding through the 7A loan program. These loans can be used for equipment or inventory, the purchase of property,
Honey,
refinancing debt,
I'm already
renovations, or
over
other
this.
purposes. The long repayment terms, low interest rates, and overall flexibility make this a top choice for many startups and small businesses. That said, 7A loans can take a while to be processed and funded, so if you're in need of fast cash, this may be a drawback. The SBA Community Advantage Program offers very similar rates and terms to the traditional 7A program with just a few minor differences. For example, the maximum amount that can be borrowed. Borrowers can receive up to $250,000. This program is great if you're a startup that doesn't meet the eligibility criteria for the standard SBA 7A loan. The SBA Express Loan Program offers benefits including low interest rates and long repayment terms. However, there are two main differences between the 7A and the Express program: the maximum loan amount and the approval turnaround. If you apply for an SBA Express loan, an approval decision is guaranteed within 36 hours after your application is submitted. Even though it can take time to complete the process and to receive the funds, getting an approval quickly means you no longer have to shop around and you can rest assured that the money you need will soon be on the way. Now, if it sounds like it's the right type of loan for your startup, click the link in the description below to learn more about SBA Express Loans. The SBA CDC 504 loan program is designed for small business owners who want to make a fixed asset purchase to expand or update their business. This loan provides funding for the purchase or upgrade of commercial space or land, the purchase of long-term equipment, or refinancing debt related to the upgrading or expansion of the business. This program is a good choice if you're a startup looking to expand or improve your commercial space. If you're a business owner seeking capital or funds to use for other purposes, you would be better off applying for other SBA loans. Also, note here that this process can be time-consuming. Now, who can qualify for a startup SBA loan? If you're a restaurant startup, a tech company, or any other business and have been in business for 2 years or less and meet the requirements of the SBA, then you're eligible. Here, be aware that these loans have such favorable rates and terms that they can be difficult to obtain. Here are the few basic requirements across the board. Qualified businesses must be for-profit operations. You must do business in the United States. You must have an adequate amount of owner equity. SBA loans should be also pursued after all other means of funding have been exhausted. Your business must also demonstrate a reasonable need for requesting the loan. If your business invests in real estate, engages in illegal operations, operates as a nonprofit, or specializes in loaning money, well, you are disqualified from applying for these programs. Another potential requirement of receiving an SBA startup loan is collateral. And if you are a startup, then you're seen as a riskier investment by lenders. So it's very common to have to put collateral in order to receive funding. The one exception to the rule is explained in our full detailed article linked below. Check it out. Also, if you wonder how you can get an SBA loan for a startup, come back next week for a dedicated Maverick Minute on that matter. And if you can't wait, check out our website at merchantmavericks.com. See you next week. Check out our other videos on SBA loans or any other videos on our small business loans playlist.
I think I got a couple. We're gonna do maybe an hour SBA loan videos.
If you're strapped for cash or simply want to take advantage of free money that's available in grants, then I'm going to give you every resource available to get money right now. Yes, even if you're not hurting for money, you may still want to take advantage of some of these opportunities so your competitors don't blow past you and leave you in the dust because they're taking advantage of it. By the time I'm done with this video, there should not be anything else for you to do but to get to work and start completing these applications at the right places. Don't watch any other YouTube video on how to find a small business grant. Don't search for another keyword phrase in Google, because I've already done all of that for you and will give you everything that you need to know right now. Hi, my name is Sherman. I'm a CPA and I own 2 companies that help small businesses specifically. In this video, I'm going to tell you exactly where I would go to find money for my business immediately. I'm going to give you the most effective ways to find grants, regardless of the time period. And I'll also go over some of the hot grants related to the COVID recession. I'll tell you what you need to know in order to start applying and the most common mistakes that I see my clients make time and time again when they're searching for funding for their business. Now, if this video helps you in any capacity, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. We're all about helping small businesses grow. So with that said, let's begin. First of all, what is a grant? Let's go ahead and get this out of the way. A grant is simply a sum of money that is given for a particular purpose. It is most commonly given by governments and sometimes other organizations. Now, other organizations, such as nonprofits, are very important here because the government frequently provides funding to nonprofit organizations who in turn grant money to small businesses. Now, many people ask me, well, what's the difference between a grant and a loan? It's very simple. A grant does not have to be paid back, and a loan does. Now, if you do not use a grant for the specified purpose, you may be required to pay back the full amount and possibly suffer more consequences. So only apply for grants that are specific to your business needs. Now that that's out of the way, let's talk about the most effective ways to get grants. Generally, the most effective way to receive grant funding is to start where you are. Start with your local city or county government. Then move up to your state and federal government. Local government grants are generally less competitive and also more intentional about serving small businesses in their areas. So let's start with local government first. Now, there are a few different places you can find local grants. Number 1, you can find them at your local small business development center. Number 2, you can find them at your local economic development authority. And then number 3, you can call your elected officials' offices directly to provide you with grant options. Now, let's discuss all of these options, starting with local small business development centers, also referred to as SBDCs. SBDCs are organizations that are funded directly by the government to support small businesses. In addition to SBDCs, the Small Business Administration, more commonly referred to as the SBA, may also have local chapters that address the needs of small businesses in your area as well. To start, just search for local SBDCs in your area and browse their websites. Most will have financial programs and assistance right on their website. For example, I live in Atlanta, Georgia, and when I search for Atlanta Small Business Development Center, this is what shows up. I can browse their website for financial resources or call them directly. Now, I strongly recommend calling these chapters directly as they may have access to grant programs that are designed specifically for your small business. Now, let's move on to the second tactic, which involves contacting your local economic authority. Most cities or counties have an economic development center. In short, these centers want to create better opportunities for people in their communities. And what do you think is the best way to create those opportunities for people? By creating jobs. And they cannot create jobs without businesses, which is why this is a great place to start to find business grants for your business. These centers spend enormous amounts of time and money finding ways to attract businesses to just simply come to their communities. They provide grants, loans, tax credits, and so much more for businesses to come to their communities. They literally bend backwards to spur economic growth in their area. This is practically why Amazon virtually pays no taxes, because of government incentives to bring their corporate business to specific areas. So to find your city's economic authority, just search Google for your city's economic authority. For example, when I search for Atlanta Economic Authority, I find Invest Atlanta. Now, due to Invest Atlanta, I save over $100,000 per year in business taxes through their tax credit program. But I'll save that for another video. My only point is this stuff is real. So be sure to subscribe to our channel to learn every way to grow your business effectively. Anyway, find your economic development authority. View their programs and call them directly to find grants for your business. Now let's move on to the third tactic, which involves calling on your elected officials directly. As funny as it sounds, calling your elected official's office is a hack that most for-profit grant companies use.
Hey y'all, I do see 101 diamonds on the screen. Thank you.
Government spending in the United States represents 1/3 of total spending in our country. The government themselves is a major contributor to the net worth of our country. This is why corporations spend billions of dollars in lobbying, so they can tap into the government funds and incentives to grow their business. Now, fortunately for small businesses, there are already incentives set aside for you. You just need to know where it is. So, to get to the point, this is what you need to do. First, find out what district you're in. You can do this by using a website that I found, openstates.org. Next, just pop in your zip code to find elected officials that specifically serve your area.
I do see some money.
Lastly, click the official's name and call them directly. A from their office will normally say, "Hi, I'm a small business owner in your district. I'm seeking assistance with obtaining grants and was hoping to gain some information about available grants in this area." I promise, guys, don't be shy about this. These people are in office to serve you. Your tax dollars are being used to fund these programs. So as a citizen of that district, you have every right to inquire on what grants they have available. They will either help you or point you in the right direction. You may also ask them for information about nonprofit organizations that are also doing grants for small businesses.
I really appreciate y'all. Over 39 viewers for the stream. Actually, over 50 viewers for the stream.
For example, East Cooper Community Outreach is a community-based nonprofit in Charleston, South Carolina. They specialize in helping low-income people in their community obtain financial aid. These are the type of organizations that you're probably not going to find searching on Google. But these are also the organizations that you can find by picking up the phone and calling your elected official's office. And here's a major hack. You can also ask them directly for a letter of recommendation to help you obtain
if y'all want to follow us, okay?
Yes, elected officials can endorse your company to help you
We're jumping to the lounge.
Now, this does not guarantee that you'll get it, but it surely does help. But what do you think about these tips so far? Is it helpful? Let me know in the comments below. If it is, please help me out by hitting the like button below. Now let's move on to state and federal government grants. State grants are generally more competitive than local grants, but what do you have to lose? At the end of the day, this is free money available to people. And as long as you fit the criteria, there's no reason why you should not apply. Okay, now here's how to get started. First, find your state department's economic development authority. This follows the same exact process that I gave you for the local example. When I search for Georgia Economic Development Small Business Grants on Google, it takes me to the exact page where I can view all the loans and grants available for my business. Do the same thing in your state and see what you can find. Once you find your state's economic authority, don't hesitate to call them to get the exact information that you need. I can't emphasize this enough. Pick up the phone and call these people. Remember, they are here to help you. Now, let's talk a little bit about federal grants. Then I'll tell you what you need to do in order to be successful in applying for these type of loans. Now, federal grants, like state grants, are traditionally more competitive due to the amount of businesses applying for them. But right now, this has changed dramatically due to the COVID recession. We've seen the federal government support small businesses like they never have before, in effort to stop small businesses from going out of business and for them, halting job creation. Now, the first place I recommend to find federal grants is SBA.gov. The SBA is the only federal agency dedicated to small businesses and provide capital for them as well. This is where the most popular federal grants are listed for small businesses. This includes things like the Paycheck Protection Program, also known as the PPP loan, and the EIDL, which is the Economic Injury Disaster Loan. Now, I know what you may be thinking. You might say, Sherman, I want a grant. I thought this was about grants, not loans. Well, wait, before you do that, here's the thing. These programs work like grants if used correctly. For example, the PPP loan was essentially a forgivable loan if it was used for specific expenses like rent and employee salaries. Anyway, read between the lines to make sure you fully understand these programs. So to get started, go to SBA.gov, view their funding programs, and find programs that best suit your needs. Okay, so at this point, I've given you local, nonprofit, state, and federal options to secure grant funding. Now, let's make sure that you're buttoned up correctly so that when you start applying for funding, you have a good chance of getting accepted. Let's talk about what you need to have and my top tips for success. Before you start applying for small business grants, you should have these things done. First, make sure your business is incorporated into an entity. Your business should have a unique employer federal identification number that shows that you own a real business. Secondly, your business and personal taxes should be complete. Grant providers will want to know the current standing of your business, including your income. Make sure your tax returns are up to date for the most recent tax period. Third, your business books should be up to date. In most cases, you must provide your financial records for your business in order to qualify for certain grants. They'll want this to make sure that you have an actual need for the money that you're requesting. Fourth, you should be operating in a separate business bank account. Remember, grants are only free if you use the money appropriately. To make it easier for yourself to do your books and for them to audit you if funds are used correctly, conduct your business transactions from a business bank account. Finally, you should have a plan for the use of the grant fund. If you're awarded grant money, what will you do with it? You should know this before you apply for grants. They're going to want to know what your plan is for the money that they're giving you. You can take this a step further by forecasting your financials based off of receiving the grant money. Show them what you're going to accomplish through the use of those grant funds for yourself and for your customers. By tackling these items in advance, you will have a better chance of obtaining grant funds quickly. In short, we're going to make it easy for grant providers to give you the money you need to run a successful business. If you need help with any of these things, like setting up a business entity, filing your business taxes, catching up your books, or financial projections, just contact us and we'll be happy to help you. We do this every single day for our small business clients. Otherwise, let's quickly summarize this video so you can get straight to work on applying for grants right away. Here's the recap. First, we tackled the question of what is a grant? Remember, a grant is simply a sum of money used for a particular purpose. As we discussed, make sure you can clearly articulate what purpose you will use grant funds for when applying. Next, we spent time discussing where to find grants. We recommend generally starting at the local level with your city or county government. Find out who's running the show in your district, call them, and ask them where you can find grants. Then branch out into seeking state and federal grants. Lastly, we discussed what you should have in order to be successful in your grant search. You should have an incorporated entity, completed tax returns, up-to-date books, and most importantly, a plan on how you intend on using grant funds. I hope you enjoyed the content of this video. If you did, please click the like button below and subscribe to our channel for more content on how to grow your business. Talk to you soon.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to our webinar today. So I'm really glad everybody could join us. My name is Ncredable, and I will be hosting our event today. And today we're going to be diving in. We're going to be decoding really a couple different things. First, we're going to be talking about how to get $250,000 in business credit for your EIN that's not linked to your.
Hey, it's Dan. Welcome back. This is I Allegedly, and I've got a good one for you today because we're going to do a roundabout and cover everything with stimulus, rent, pandemic unemployment, some new grants, where the economy's headed, a little bit of everything right now, guys. Rent moratorium leaving us, and how to get some cash for that. So before I get into it, please take a second to hit the like button, the subscribe button, share this with all your friends and colleagues. Those of you that are new here, this channel was built on grants and getting people funding. When the SBA had their calamity, which they're continuing to let us down over and over and over again, as they do that, this channel was started as a way of getting resources and sharing ways to get help. As this thing drags on into its 15th month, it's hard to say that even out loud, but it is crazy. And first things first, let's get into it. There is no plan for a fourth stimulus check. It's just not. Nothing out there that leads us to believe, as states open up, as people are vaccinated, as I went to a baseball game last week, and there was 30,000 people sitting in the same stadium. I don't think that there's going to be any more stimulus checks. Now, what is coming is if you have small children under 17 in your household, if they're very young, you get even a bigger check. It's the child tax credit starts to fund in July. You get half of your child tax credit based on the number of children, $3,000 for every child. If they're under 6 and under, you get to have the $3,500. You get half of that given you as a monthly stimulus check. That is the only thing that's scheduled right now. Now, for those of you that have never gotten a stimulus check, or you got number one, but you got number three, you didn't get number two, there's a thing called recovery rebate. You can go and you can get that. Contact the IRS and explain your situation, and they will tell you the simplest way to do it. Some people that generally don't have to file tax returns are going to have to file a tax return to get the stimulus check. And some of these were lost, some of these people moved, some of them they changed bank accounts. There's a myriad of reasons why people didn't get their stimulus checks. And again, the white envelope that this thing comes in, the little debit card that people got, was so innocuous. It looks like an advertisement. So many people threw them out. And there are so many checks, paper checks that have been sent out, millions that have not been cashed yet. So each state is keeping a tally, and you can for yourself and search that stuff. But it's called recovery rebate, and you can get it, and you're going to get the money, but there is deadlines. I think number 2 and number 3 have a definitive deadline as far as when you can apply for those. The pandemic unemployment this week ends in 8 more states. Now, what that does is we're over 25 states now. Now, what my state did in California, that a bunch of people write me about, is as of July 11th, which this is the kiss of death, this is the deadline for California. It was September 4th, but as of July 11th, people are going to have to start showing where they applied for work. You didn't have to, you had self-certification up to this point, which means you were actively looking for a job if it was safe and all that stuff. Now, where did you apply? And the best thing is if you applied at, we'll just say, a very famous coffee house, and they would have hired you, and then they contact them and say that John Smith could have gotten hired, your benefits will immediately cease.
I hope y'all listening.
So the trouble's coming when it comes to this stuff. I like how the camera shook at that point. It was kind of, it's the new I Allegedly sound effects studio. Anyways, there's a real problem getting people back to work, you know, and you can believe the debate that this is making people not want to work in these jobs. I think that in 2020, we had more businesses started than any other year. I think that people are doing the side hustles, the side gigs, selling things, driving, you know, doing things to make money and not going back to the traditional jobs. I think that this is going to be a shift in the workplace. American Airlines today had to cancel 400 flights because they didn't have enough staff. And again, when I went to Miami last week, one thing I love to do is I love to talk to everybody that I can. And one of the Uber drivers who was a flight attendant, and he was telling me how, you know, he's got so many days on, so many days off, and he drives on the other days to and from the airport, makes a killing doing that, makes as much money driving to and from the airport as he does as a flight attendant. Now he's got, you know, good gigs. He was telling me how in Europe at one point was going back and forth to Europe, and it was a great gig. He was there a minimum of a day, sometimes 2 days before he'd have to fly back home, and then got stuck in a after the pandemic in a New Jersey flight. And he said it was hell, so didn't like New Jersey. Anyways, the grants, there's a ton of grant programs that are coming out, and you're going to see this. I've got a grant program here that is for up to $20,000 that every single one of you can apply for. And the grants on this channel have been incredibly successful. I've had a lot of people get grant programs and file for grant programs and get the money. One woman got 4 grants. I've had 3 people now get 3 grants. Okay, I'm not talking idle nonsense. I'm talking about separate, where they applied for it. And the first one is a great one because it's from the state of New York. The state of New York has a real problem, and that is it was not friendly to business during this time. Let's just say they shut down, were very harsh. When you look at restaurant failures, it goes, San Francisco's number 1. Well, it's dirty too. It's also disgusting. Number 2 is Washington, D.C. And number 3 has been New York City. Okay, so, you know, there's restaurant problems everywhere. You guys see me do these videos where I go out and I show you the retail, just in Santa Monica and in Venice and all these other places. It's really been affecting a lot of people. But the problem with New York City is they tax people to the moon. And people think that they're just going to reopen these businesses again. Oh, you'll see in 90 days, all these places will be back. No, they're not. The bureaucracy to run a business and to run a restaurant is horrific. So let's get into the restaurant grant first in New York, and then we'll get to the other stuff.
Now up next is the New York State Small Business Recovery Grant Program. Empire State Development Grant. This can get you a minimum of $5,000 if you're in New York State. This is for small to large businesses, and great program because you need to have gross receipts between $25,000 and $500,000. And the cool thing about this program is that the money is being handled by a company called Lendistry. Now, why is this a big deal? They just handled the California grants, and the thing went off without a hitch. So it's worth applying. You can't be a nonprofit. You've got to be a legal business. The grant award, you get $5,000. Even if you have $25,000 in sales, you guys can get a $5,000 grant. So you can use it for payroll. You can use it for everything. And again, Lendistry is running the program. Sign up right now. The link will be in the video description below. Good luck to each and every one of you. But this, guys, is real. And New York is hurting. New York is the third worst state when it comes to restaurant reopenings. Dun, dun, dun. San Francisco's first, and Washington, D.C. second, and New York is number 3. Now, the best thing about the New York program is it's statewide, okay? It's ran by a company called Lendistry, okay? This place just ran the very successful grant program here in California for small businesses. And overall, you know, there were hiccups, but overall people were very happy. And I had people write me that got that grant. So it was successful. So apply for this thing right away, get the documentation ready. As they do these things, they get better and better and better and understand how there's more and more and more detail given to you. But give them the moon. Be very thorough. Don't change the name of your business from what it was and what's on your tax return to what it is now. It's the kiss of death in getting this stuff approved, okay? So the next one, this is the grant for everyone. This is something that each and every one of you, if you are self-employed in any way, shape, or form, you can apply for. It's awesome. It's through Linktree, and it is very simple. Linktree is a free little portal that you sign up for. It gives you like a little mini website, and you can put your Instagram website, Facebook page, all this stuff on one little page. It's free. But again, I make nothing from this. I'm just trying to tell you that this is something that I will be applying for as well. So let's take a look at it. This one I'm incredibly excited about. This is the Passion Fund from Linktree. Linktree is a website builder that you can share all your links, whether it's your website, social media, YouTube channel, whatever. It's a free portal that you can sign up for, and you can share everything in one little space. It's very cool. But they have this grant program where they're giving away $250,000 to start this thing out. And they're going to have gold, silver, bronze packages, and the People's Choice package is going to get an extra 20 grand. But this is absolutely free for everybody who is self-employed or has a company. Everybody can apply for this. Here's all the frequently asked questions. You got 9 gold winners at 20 grand. You got 10 at 4,000, 10 at 1,000. Very cool. I mean, this is a lot of money, guys. They're giving this away. 250 grand. Again, all you need to do for this, there is no fee. You have to have a Linktree account, which again is free to sign up for. It takes a few minutes to get, and very cool, you know. But again, got the deadlines. July 7th is the final deadline to apply, and the link will be in the video description below. As these stimulus programs, and you're going to see more and more funds like this that are going to be out there that are going to get people involved, get the community involved, because let's face it, business is not back yet, but this is going to be something that's going to be very good to get people some cash. You know, process is simple, very easy to apply. Sign up today. Again, Passion Fund from Linktree. And again, teaming up with Square, good companies. Good luck to everybody. The last thing to cover is rental assistance. There are over 350 agencies across the country that have money currently accepting applications for rental assistance. Bum, 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 okay? If you, a family member, neighbor, friend, anybody, people you don't even like, let them know about this, because we don't want to see any more homeless people. We don't want to see any more people suffering. But for those of you that are procrastinators and dragging your feet, I take some advice from this guy on YouTube, and that is that the party is about to end. And the lawyers are going to start suing people. The lawyers that, if they do extend this moratorium, I've talked to lawyers who have they're going to get creative. It's going to be like watching an epic blockbuster, because they're going to sue you for anything they can think of to get a judgment against you and to start collecting against you to come after you. Now, is that horrible? Maybe, okay? But these small landlords, at this point, I do not know how some of these people are in business when they've not taken money in 15 months, okay? But here are over 350 programs. I've got them all. It's listed by state. You can go down, accepting applications, not accepting applications. It's the coolest thing ever. But again, share this with your friends, colleagues, family members, anybody you know that's hurting for this, give this to them. Please take a look at this. Now, there are over 350 different programs that you can apply for to get rental assistance still. Oh, there's nothing in my state, Dan. Well, this is a list of everything. Everything. California, look at all the different places that are still open. Applications being accepted, accepting applications. Program closed. I mean, you guys, Georgia, accepting applications. Look at this. This, just for giggles, we're going to go through the entire country, okay? There's over 350 of these that are still accepting applications. Absolutely amazing, completely, free to apply. But again, if you guys don't have rental assistance and you need it, you better get it now, guys, because it's ending and you'll never get this again. I don't care if they extend the moratorium or not. They're going to start suing people, and the lawyers are getting incredibly creative right now with what they're coming up with. So take advantage of these programs now because they're ending, and you've got the entire nation right here with the click of one resource. I'm going to wrap this all up in that the pandemic unemployment is going to end. There's talk about extending it. There's talk about having it last longer. It's not been voted on yet, guys. It's just not the stroke of a pen and this gets extended. So it's not going to happen, okay? California, with what they're doing, that's what they're going to do in every state. So you better be out looking for a job right now. I'm just going to say that because it's over with come July 11th here in California. And the rental assistance programs, guys, once this is done, you have no negotiating power at all. None. People have had a very difficult time. A lot of businesses have been closed. A lot of people lost their jobs. People have gotten sick. You guys know all this. But the people that are proactive, the people that are trying to get themselves help and help others, those are the people that are going to benefit from this. And those are the people that the landlords that are owed money to. If a guy's owed this much money and he gets this much, trust me, I don't care how much of a hard ass he is. He's going to be more happy that he got something than nothing. And you do have a better chance of negotiating with that person. Please, if you'd like to join the Patreon channel, please join the Patreon channel. You get more access to me. If you would like to email us, we do our best to answer as many of them as we can. It's getting more and more difficult as it just explodes on the channel. Thank you for the 80,000 subscribers. I am deeply humbled and honored, and I love doing this for you guys. My day job of running the medical and startup conferences finally will be coming back. Okay? So in August, I hope that we can get back to work. That being said, don't forget to like the video, hit the subscribe button, and you get all the social media channels to get a hold of me. Onward and upward, guys. More to come. Lots coming this week. Okay? See you soon.
What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another video. Welcome to your stimulus check update, stimulus package, and infrastructure update for Monday, July 5th. Hopefully you guys had an incredible weekend. Hopefully you guys celebrated July 4th, did something fun, spent time with friends, family, and loved ones, and maybe even had a barbecue or two. Well, if you guys did anything fun, let me know what you did down in the comment section below. I'd just be interested to kind of hear what you guys did. I just spent time with my family. Now, here's what I want to address. The infrastructure talks at this point are actually holding up a lot of things. They're holding up relief for the American people. They're holding up discussions on potentially extending child tax credits. They're holding up talks on the student loan forgiveness. They're holding up talks on more relief for seniors. There's a lot of stuff being discussed at this point The problem is, right now, it's questionable whether or not this large infrastructure package is even going to pass. What we are hearing right now is that many lawmakers are proposing different ideas to other lawmakers about relief for seniors, relief for the elderly, more assistance for those that are on a fixed income, people that are on Social Security benefits. That's what we're hearing. But the problem is, lawmakers are saying at this point that they need to get this bipartisan bill passed first. Once this bill is passed, and only then can they work on more of a social infrastructure package, which could include things like expanding Medicare and bringing the eligibility age from 65 down to 60, also including dental, vision, and hearing. Those are three big things that are very expensive. We're also hearing that right now, the Biden administration is still not discussing that $200 per month boost, mainly because it's something that experts or advisors do not think is needed at this time. They are saying that right now, if we figure out infrastructure, if we get this social infrastructure package passed and negotiated, chances are it's going to include Medicare and the expansion of it. We will most likely see people that do receive a Social Security, they will also receive additional boosts as well, other stimulus included into these packages. Again, we might see, and these are just different reports, these are just different proposals, but we know Senator Sherrod Brown, he wants to see a roughly 31% increase to Social Security benefits. This is going to come out to roughly, on average, about $280 as a boost per month per person. That's a huge boost, and that's on average, all right? So just keep that in mind. A 31% increase, and the purpose behind this is to get Social Security benefits from where they are now up to meet that federal poverty line. And that's about a 31% jump. So we will see if this gets pushed any further. This was actually a proposal that was introduced sometime last year. I think it was like March, maybe it's probably May or June of last year in 2020, but this was reintroduced about 2 weeks ago. So that's actually pretty good that we are seeing a reintroduction of old bills, because those were already written. Those have already been kind of outlined by the Congressional Budget Office. We kind of have the score on those. So these are things that are good to bring back up, because you never know. Maybe it didn't pass last year, but now might be a different economic climate and we can pass it this year. So that would be great news for many seniors. We also know right now, some are saying that stimulus checks are still being considered, but if stimulus checks are passed, then additional relief to seniors will pretty much be gone. Or if we see additional relief to seniors, then it puts stimulus checks in question because of the same fact. Why would we pass additional relief to seniors and then on top of that give them a stimulus check? Some lawmakers say that that's not right, to double dip and get additional benefits as one person. But again, with unemployed people, this was never an issue. They got unemployment benefits. They got, a lot of them got, rental assistance, nutrition assistance, right? And on top of that, stimulus checks. And so even though lawmakers are saying that we need to either pass rental or pass stimulus checks, or, or pass additional relief to seniors, it makes absolutely no sense why you would do that, but there's just discussions on that, so I thought I'd bring it up. We also know Senator Sherrod Brown wants, and others actually as well, but the reason I referenced Sherrod Brown is because he's been pushing for a boost to Social Security for about a year, and actually a little bit longer than that, but this is something that he's really pushing for. He's adamant about getting this included into the next proposal. Here's what I can tell you. He wants to index Social Security with inflation. And here's the reason why this is so important. Some are saying that if we see the economy shift, and the problem is we're most likely going to see some form of inflation. That is good if you own assets, if you own real estate and stocks and things like that. It is bad if you don't have any savings. It's bad if you're on a fixed income. It's bad in many ways. Many people are going to be hurt simply because of inflation. But what he is stating is let's index Social Security to inflation, and let's guarantee about a 3% boost every single year. A lot of people were saying, and I read the comments, I know what you guys were discussing. A lot of you guys were very upset when that 1.3% cost of living adjustment came out. I thought that was extremely low. At that point, before we even knew the exact figure, there were many reports. There was even a group of senators from Oregon, I think it was 2 from Oregon and 1 from somewhere else. They were actually proposing about a 5% boost, a 5% cost of living adjustment on top of a roughly 3.2%, I believe, at the time. And so some are saying that if we could see something close to 5 to 8%, that would be substantial. That would really help out the American people. That would help out people on Social Security. That would help out those on a fixed income. Now, what we did see the other day, there's multiple stories. I know Forbes ran a story on it, Bloomberg, CNN, and also Yahoo Finance, is that we will potentially see a 5.3% cost of living adjustment in 2022. That's going to be big. I think that's the second highest cost of living adjustment we've ever seen. The last one was at 5.8%. This was back in 2009. And if you remember back in 2009, that's when we had that financial crisis that a lot of people are still struggling to get out of. Now, what I can tell you, this next infrastructure package, this bipartisan bill, here's the problem that we're seeing at this point. This bipartisan infrastructure package, this American Jobs Plan, is being held up because progressives and even Nancy Pelosi last week, I believe on Wednesday, she stated that it is her goal to get both bills passed. And if both bills have to pass, this is the American Jobs Plan and the American Families Plan, that's the budget reconciliation bill. If both bills have to pass, then she wants to make sure that they pass around the same time, not push forward with the bipartisan bill and then hope and pray that moderates in the Senate and moderate Democrats all over decide to, yeah, let's go ahead and pass an additional package on the heels of this bipartisan bill that Senator Joe Manchin was a part of crafting and creating, because he will most likely backtrack. Even though he says he'd support a $2 trillion Democrat-only proposal, chances are, at least according to experts, that he would not support this, because even though it came out of his mouth and these were his words, many experts don't anticipate Joe Manchin would support this, because that would make him look very bad, because he was the one that helped craft and prep and put together the framework of that $1.2 trillion 8-year infrastructure bipartisan bill. And so some are saying that it would look bad on his part to go ahead, create that one, come over to this budget reconciliation and help with this one, or put in his 2 cents here, because he's kind of getting what he wants over there, getting what he wants over here, and yet some are not going to get anything that they want. But this leads us into what progressives are doing at this time. Progressives say we need to provide more. We need to provide more. We need to go big, bold, and robust, and we need to provide an infrastructure deal now. What they are saying, and what Bernie Sanders has been pushing for, is for this expansion of Medicare. Medicare for seniors, Medicare for people that are in need. What I can tell you is, because of the lengthy discussions that we're having on infrastructure and potentially seeing a delay on this, if we see a delay on infrastructure, this is a bipartisan bill, if we see this get delayed, which chances are we're not going to see a lot of discussions on this, it's real discussions and possibly bill moving discussions. We're not going to see this until the Senate gets closer to coming back to Washington, which isn't going to happen until July 12th. So what we know is that right now, the discussions and the plans are still in motion. Even though there's an agreement, a tentative agreement on this bipartisan bill, we do know that things can change. So my expectation, off of reading many reports over this past weekend, is that we are going to see changes. We're going to see multiple changes. This bill will not look the exact same. Some of the figures may get changed a little bit. My guess is Republicans are going to get their way. It might come down a little bit, but the way it gets modified or changed is going to have a more Democratic touch to it. So I wanted to bring this up because if this bipartisan bill gets delayed. Here's what we know. This gets delayed until, let's say, the end of July. Okay, great. Well, that means Congress will go on recess for all of August, okay? And then they'll come back in September. They'll probably be working on a government funding bill at that point. They'll probably still be working on the voting rights bill at that point as well. And there's other things that they'll be addressing too. But they'll be working on that, while at the same time, this budget reconciliation bill is still sitting in the background, still being worked on, still being negotiated. We may not see this until possibly the middle to end of September. We may not even see this in September. It may go past. And so what we're hearing at this point is just expect these delays to continue. My guess is they will continue for some time. My guess is lawmakers are fine with that, because by continuing to delay these different bills, one, Republicans are getting their way. This is exactly what Mitch McConnell said, that he wanted to stop the current administration from passing any meaningful legislation, which is exactly what he's doing. So he did stick to his word. But Democrats, the reason they might want to see this get delayed until September is because that is when we will have some more reports and data over the child tax credit payments, how they're actually impacting the United States and the economy and the American people. We'll also know what's going to happen with the unemployment benefits. Are they going to cancel, which many people expect they will? It's not going to be in the next infrastructure package. And if it does, how will that impact the economy as a whole? And on top of that, we got the eviction moratorium will end at the end of July and the end of next month. So pretty much in 30 days. So we're going to have a lot of answers coming up very soon. But as we get more answers, I promise I'll fill you in on all the updates there. Just want to thank you guys for watching. Have a wonderful rest of your Monday afternoon, Monday morning. If you guys have any questions whatsoever, please ask your questions down in the comment section below. Just want to thank you guys for watching. Consider subscribing so I can continue to keep you updated on everything that's going on. And I'll see you guys on the next one.
To have President Trump back to the great state of Texas. He's a great friend to Texas. He's a great friend of mine. When I was governor, he was president. Anytime I called upon the president, he was there to step up and help our fellow Texans. And one of the things that he did better than anything else, and definitely better than any other president did, he stepped up and he secured our border and kept Texas an American safe. Things have changed so quickly and so dramatically under the Biden administration has been amazing and disastrous. For one, if you just look at the year-over-year numbers, look at this May versus last May. The increase of people coming across the border who've been apprehended has gone up more than 800%. And just that May over May, and in April, it was the exact same thing. We see something that needs to put in context, because we hear Vice President Harris talk about going down to the Northern Triangle as if solving the problems in those three countries is going to solve the problem with regard to the border. She is misleading America, because the fact of the matter is, there are people coming into the United States across our border from more than 150 countries across the entire globe. If she solves the problem in those three countries, which we know she can, it means there's still more than 147 other countries to go to solve problems there. They're missing the point. There's one place to solve all the problems on the border, and that is on the border. And that's exactly where the Biden administration needs to devote their resources to get the job done. The problems are dramatic. Let me give you just one example about what's happened after you left presidency that we've seen in Texas and across the nation. It's probably the most deadly aspect of what is happening, and that is the importation of the deadly drug of fentanyl. Just 2 milligrams of fentanyl is a deadly dose. And just this calendar year, the Texas Department of Public Safety has seen a 2,000% increase in the amount of fentanyl that they have apprehended. And that's not counting what Border Patrol has apprehended. Just the Texas Department of Public Safety alone has apprehended more fentanyl to kill every man, woman, and child in the entire state of Texas. This is deadly, it's dangerous, and it's infesting regions across Texas as well as regions across the United States. So here's what Texas has done that we're bringing up to speed on, that we have had to do to respond to this crisis. We launched Operation Lone Star, where we deployed 1,000 Texas Department of Public Safety officers as well as Texas National Guard, and they have already arrested almost 1,800 people for criminal violations, in addition to about 40,000 apprehensions of people who come across the border illegally, and they have busted 41 stash houses. In addition to that, things got so bad that county judges, the lead officials in the border region counties, for the first time ever, they asked me to declare disaster. Remember, I declared disaster for Hurricane Harvey and other things like that. This is the first time ever I'm aware of that a governor had to make a disaster declaration for the border situation, and yet that's exactly what we did. And then the state of Texas, with the help of Lieutenant Governor Patrick, we passed in our state budget that I just signed more than $1 billion of funding for Texas to have to step up and secure our border. And then after that, they added an additional $250 million for Texas to begin building our own border wall to keep Texas safe. And then on top of that, we have a new program because we are seeing people coming across the border who have committed crimes before, and we want to arrest these people. And we the Texas Department of Public Safety are working collaboratively with the sheriffs to make sure we have an arrest program. We're not going to be involved in catch and release. If you're coming in the state of Texas, we will have Texas law enforcement arresting you and putting you behind bars. This isn't going to be the red carpet treatment that the Biden administration has rolled out. This is going to be time in jail that our law enforcement officials will help achieve. Two of the things I want to mention, one is that Governor Newsom and I, we triggered an interstate compact where other states can go in and assist us in helping to secure our border. And I know I don't have all the states, but I do want to mention the ones that I do have that are stepping up to help out by sending resources. It could be law enforcement officials or it could be National Guard. We have Florida, Nebraska, South Dakota, Iowa, Ohio, Arkansas, Georgia, and more. Just know that for the people of Texas, the people of America, thank you for stepping up and providing your resources to help secure the border, knowing full well that what comes across the border does not stay the border. In fact, it goes to your states and other states across the entire country. Two of the things that I created a Border and Homeland Security Task Force that involves all of our local sheriffs and help provide advice and information about what needs to be done, as well as property owner groups, ranchers who have been decimated by what's happened on their land. And let me just close with that. We're doing all that we can for one reason, and that's because the way that the people along the border are having their lives turned upside down. I cannot tell you the number of stories that I've heard from people who have had guns to their heads or guns brandished at them in their ranches, in their homes, in their neighborhoods. They're afraid to have their children go play in their yards. The ranchers have their homes invaded, their fences ripped up, their livestock lost, their game lost. It is a far more dangerous situation than ever been. The people in Texas have been pleading for us to be able to step up and help restore safety and security in their lives. And that is exactly why Texas is stepping up and doing a job that is truly the federal government's job, a job that you did, but a job that the Biden administration is completely failing us on. Now with that, there's going to be 3 law enforcement officials who will provide you additional information, and then we look forward to hearing your remarks. And it starts out with the director of the Texas Department of Public Safety, Steve Clark.
I don't know what we're watching, but I'm not watching this.
All these boys back to law enforcement.
Y'all make sure you restart the video for these SBA loans, because I'm gonna have to step away and turn this up all the way and listen from the next room.